Hey!
We got it. Fabulous 4.
Won't he do
What a
it?
victory.
Won't he
Man.
do it?
Now I need,
Hey, y'all.
for y'all thousands of followers, I need y'all to send them the request again for the 20th time so they can hop on.
Let me lock this door here so I can get.
Don't nobody touch nothing.
Right. I'm afraid to even send invites to the thing right now. I'm just gonna have to send the replay out.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what?
Okay.
I appreciate everybody hanging in there, coming through, hopping on what is sure to be one of the greatest Instagram lives you've seen. By far, it's gonna be
That's
the
right.
dopest book versus. I got some super beings with me. We got Semone Blair-Walker. We got Mel Roberson. We got Monique Spence, aka Coach Mo. And they are super beings. Whenever I have a conversation with them, there have been times where they've actually transformed my life in a conversation. You know, it's something that they said created a whole new perspective. And that there is just the ability to, they're not only superheroes, they're super beings. And you all tap into this superpower that's so incredible, and you all's belief and your action that you really show through your lives.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible.
Absolutely.
And for me, today felt like Christmas. And I was trying to unwrap the gifts with, this going in and out of the IG Live, but that's the type of vibration that you all bring. So thank you for being a part of this book versus.
So Sel, every time you mention something and there's a reference, I'm gonna grab it for you.
Yo, that's my guy, John Randolph Price.
Yeah.
Since
we doing the book verses, you know what I'm saying? So number 1, super beings. There you go.
Right,
there you go.
Don't be flossing on us. I know you number 2 library in Chicago after Harold Washington Library, man.
Bro.
But you know what? Let's go ahead and get into it. If you all can introduce yourselves, just briefly, share what you do, and we'll go from there. So we can start with you, Semone.
All right. Hi, everyone. So listen, first of all, I didn't get the memo, the change memo. Okay. What happened?
I didn't get the change
You ain't
memo
checked your
either.
text message. It was in the text message.
What happened was,
Chicago.
okay, tell me what happened.
So what happened was, I said I was going to put my
did the shirt show too much muscles? Was that it?
No, it has nothing to do with it. I was just going to put my own brand on for the show. This is my brand, Die Empty. So that's all that was.
Okay.
So when he did that, I was like, well, I ain't gonna let him be the only one to take his shirt.
Oh.
So then I had to bust me out a little something.
Okay.
Me and Semone are entrepreneurs too. Like we got our shirts, we got we got product.
I know. Right? I need to pull out a "How Can I Win" shirt.
Yes, yeah. I got your bookmark. Well, I'm not even telling them yet. We gonna get into this book version.
Okay.
Semone, tell them what you
about
do,
myself. Okay, first of all, I just want to tell everybody thank you for just joining this live. I'm excited. I think this is my first time doing something like this. So, it's just different, and it's just nice to try something new. But anyways, my name is Semone Blair-Walker. I'm an author, motivational speaker. I've been in the beauty and fashion industry for over 26 years now. Born superpreneur. I love business. I love inspiring people. I love living life. I love trying new things. And I'm also an author of this amazing best-selling book, How Can I Win? Oh, I'm supposed to leave that for last, right?
You're good. Your world. Your plug.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm what do you call it? A jack of all trade, master of none. I just love to just make things better. However, and using my talent to inspire people to live their best life any way they can. I have a website, Miyabachi. Marcel knows much about Miyabachi. It's all about the mind, the body, and the spirit, finding ways to balance that all the way through, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through spiritual enlightenment, or just everyday living. That's what Miyabachi is all about, is inspiring people and how to look and live their best life.
Absolutely.
It's funny how 26-year-old Jamaicans talk about how they've been in the industry. I've been in the industry 26 years, girl.
Listen, baby. Listen, baby. You see all of this, yeah, so? This is going to be 48 years of this. 48 years of this.
I can't wait for Semone to do a motivational speaking tour in Jamaica, and we all get to ride on your yacht.
Yeah.
Man. Man. Hey, I missed it when Buju got out of jail. I'm not gonna miss it when you go do your concert.
Oh, listen, I love Junior Gong, right? And he has this song called "Living It Up." So I worked out after we spoke. I ran about 2 miles, right? And then I played Junior Gong, "Living It Up," and he walked through Trenchtown with his son. And then he just got to this big, white, amazing house on the hill. Man, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like living it up. He's living the actual dream. I'm personally now living my dream. So I resonate with that song because I understand how life is starting from the bottom and where it takes you and where your dreams and aspiration can take you. So I feel as if I'm living that path, and that song just inspired me today. So I'm all about living it up, baby.
Living it up.
And listen, when we go to Jamaica for that tour, that retreat, whatever it is, we're going to manifest all of that today. Yeah. When we get to that point, we're all going to be living it up in Jamaica. Trust me.
Yeah. And one of the speakers is going to be Monique Spence, Coach Mo. So introduce yourself.
Yes, yes.
And it was April 28th when we manifested this shit. That's when I'm going to tell the people. So I'm Monique Spence. I am, in real life, I'm a life coach. I saw one of those posts that recently said, do a bad job describing what you do for a living. And I wrote in there, I'm a paid professional friend. And technically, though it's the bad way to say it, that really is what I am. I'm your friend that doesn't take your stuff just because you said it or justify it. So as a life coach, I help people guide through their everyday life decisions. And in the process, putting away enough of their mess to manifest the things that they want to make happen. So I found my way through here after many, many, many businesses. And I love what I do, being able to help people. I work with a special niche of teachers and educators, helping them to unburden themselves from some of their own life stuff so that they could be better for their students and the community. So I love what I do. I get to change and transform people's thoughts so that they live the life they want to live. It's a lot of fun.
Dope. And you are the best life coach by far. Mel.
And what's your tagline, Mo?
Manifest that shit.
I like that.
No shit is different than my shit. Everybody wants some different shit.
I got shiggity. Mine is shiggity.
Well, you know,
manifest that shiggity. Listen, I still have a 10-year-old.
All of that.
Word. Okay, Mel, introduce yourself, man, and then we're gonna get into our first round of book verses.
Yes, indeed. My name is Mel Roberson. I am a multi-lane entrepreneur. I own several different businesses. A couple of them are professional development companies. I do seminars and motivational speaking for a variety of different companies and structural stuff for companies as well. I am also a 6-time Amazon best-selling author. I've co-authored six times. About to be 7th because we got our 7th book coming out in Q2 of this year. So
I'm gonna be like you when I grow up.
Hey, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room at the top, baby.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, so 6-time Amazon bestselling author. I'm also an actor. My most recent work has been on Chicago PD. I play a homicide detective there. I've been on The Chi. I've been on Empire, movies on Netflix, Amazon, so forth and so on. But my greatest accomplishment in the entire world, outside of all the business and everything else, has been raising those 2 beautiful women back there. My 2 babies that are grown now, empty nester, free to travel the world. I love them, but I'm glad they big. So yeah, no. Let's get it cracking. That's enough about me. Everything else, my link is in my link tree in my bio. You can check out.
Word. These are super beings. Y'all about to be empowered with some great knowledge, some great resources in the form of books. This is the book verses. We about to kick it off. Let's get ready to book rumble. We got Simone, we got Monique, we got Mel. I would say coming to the ring at such and such pounds, but y'all operate at such a frequency. I didn't get a chance to calculate y'all like frequency, your units of luminosity, but it's probably in the billions. So without any further ado, kicking off the book versus, I want to know, what is the first book that you read that changed your life? And we can start with Simone.
Oh, me. Lord have mercy. All right. I'm going to show it to you. What's left of it.
Whoa.
The Success Principles.
Word.
So I have had this book since, you know, it's been with me now since about 2000, I think 6 or wait, no, 2007 when I got this book. I did get another one actually. So I do have a newer copy, but this one is significant because I started with it. And so the Success Principles, written by Jack Canfield here, has so many great nuggets in it. And when I tell you, when I read this, I was at a point in my life where I just knew that I needed to upgrade. I needed something else. I was at a point where I felt like I was getting stagnant and I needed some form of motivation. And this book really shifted my mindset and exposed me to more so of affirmations, because I've always read positive books along the way. That's my food. That's what I look for, positive thoughts and inspirations. But what this book did, it actually introduced me to manifestations and visualizations. You know, really being able to, and visualization, I think, is the key component, because sometimes we have these aspirations in life, but we don't necessarily see ourselves in those situations, you know. And so I learned how to see and feel and live it before it actually happened. So you kind of get that premonition, you know. And so with doing that, and then it gave me, I gave myself permission to get outside of my extra comfort zone, you know. And so I did, and I changed a lot of things about my life. I went through, like, you know, cleaning out the closet. I have a, you know, chapter that I talked about, like cleaning out the closet in your life. But I went through and I did a lot of cleaning up in my life, getting rid of a lot of people, getting rid of a lot of things that cluttered my thoughts, so I can think and see clearly. But this was it. Success Principles. I mean,
Principles by Jack Canfield. And that,
by
you know
Jack
what, that's
Canfield.
gonna be,
Look how I think it's
you have obliterated that book and taken all of the words off of it and put it in your
listen, I even used the cover as a bookmarker.
Wow. Word,
That's
word.
repurposing
Okay.
right there.
So you know what that is, you got Success Principles, and that actually kicks off the first category. So that's a double one for you. That's your most impactful book, and that's your success book. So
Right.
Mel, tell me the first book that you read that changed your life, and then tell me, if you can squeeze in, man, that success, the number one book you have for success that you've read.
Okay, so the first book that changed my life, I do not have the original copy, but here's a newer copy of it. It is The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. In 1998, my aunt sent me a copy of it. It had a yellow cover. It looks like your book does now, Simone. I don't even know where that book is. I read it so much. But when I originally read it, I was like, man, this is hokey. Like, she called me and made me promise that I would read it. And if you know anything about my family, a Roberson always does what they say they will do, like, hands down. And so she made me promise that I would read it, and I read it. And I'm just like, this is some bullshit, though. Like, you know, what do you mean think your way to success and big dreams and all of this? I'm like, come on, man. But it was some principles in there that I was like, all right, whatever. Not knowing that the seed had been planted. And later on in life, all of those things that were in this book came about. You know, I started to manifest that shit, as Mo would say, based off of what I learned in this book. And and that was the beginning of my senior year in college. And midway through my senior year in college, one of my professors gave me an audio cassette series called, it's by Bob Moad. I forget what the name of it is. I still have the cassette series, though. And listening to some of those principles, he talked about some of the stuff in the book. So that's the first book that I read. But the business book, I think, or the success book that has me on 10, and has had the greatest impact on me is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And this book talks about how just the compounded effect of anything you do, good or bad, has a direct impact on your life, your business, your everything. So a lot of people think it's the big thing that happens that makes you successful. And it's those small things compounded over time that actually make you successful. You know, it's not the one bite of a Big Mac that kills you and gives you heart disease and cardiac arrest. It's eating a Big Mac consistently over a period of time that'll add pounds. Right? It's not the one day in the gym that'll give you the body of a Greek god or a Greek goddess, but it's the compounded effect of doing those small things over and over again when they seem unimportant that'll get you where you want to be in life. So first book, and then my, whatever you said that category was, most impactful one.
Number success.
Yeah, there you go. Success. Yep, those are my two.
And a great example of that, they actually do the compound penny.
The penny,
you have $1 million or a penny that doubles for a day for a month. And that penny actually turns into $10 million in a 31 day. So I encourage everybody to do that on a calculator one day to see what that means and the compound effect of what you said. So dope. Coach Monique, give us the book you read first that transformed your life, and then tell us that success book and the life-changing principle that you got out of them.
I feel like all my books are the same book, so I'm gonna make mine a combo because it really is possibly the right. And this is a newer copy too because my other one was obliterated. But this is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale.
Wow.
And interestingly enough, my mom had me reading this book. It was a blue cover back then. When I was 12. So before high school, I was into my subconscious mind. At the time, I would use it for like spelling words and how to remember the words to the Easter play. I would write everything down 3 times before I went to read it back a bunch of times, put it under my pillow, and go to sleep. And I thought that magically, somehow, it was traveling into my brain. Technically, it was. So the truth of a lot of the things that I learned and have learned has been because I've been able to tap into my subconscious and create from what's in there. So this would be it would be my way I started, and it would be my same formula for success that I use now. Ever so technically.
That's dope. That's dope. The Power of Positive Thinking.
Norman Vincent Peale.
Yeah. So everybody who's joined this book versus, when we name the topic, drop the book that's your favorite for that category. So we just talked about success. We got Simone's The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. We have The Compound Effect, by Darren Hardy. And we have The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. So super dope. Now, each of you all are entrepreneurs. We looking at some hustlers, some grinders, some from the west side of the shop, some from the south side, some from Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? So
west side.
No doubt. We might have you bust out a west side percolator for us.
I might.
And then and Mel will get his House of Maddox footworks going.
I got it on deck.
And then when Semone tell you her footwork, it's gonna be a wrap. But let me ask you all, what's the #1 book? And we're gonna start with we're gonna reverse it and start with you, Monique. Okay. #1 book for entrepreneurship that you read.
You know how I said I feel like all of my books are kind of the same. The same theme. So on this one,
and what is that theme, Monique?
Spiritual, inside spirituality is the theme of my books. Mm-hmm. The books that I found that have resonated with me have been those that have told me that I can do it too. The books I tend to stay away from are those that say only certain people can, or you gotta have this much money or do those kinds. I stay away from stuff that says that. So my success book in entrepreneurship actually is Spiritual Economics by Butterworth, Eric Butterworth. And the principle in this book is that there is no spot where God is not. The whole premise of the book builds there, which also means that there's no spot where abundance doesn't live, where goodness doesn't live. There's no, and the equivalent is there's no spot in the ocean that isn't wet.
That is true.
You in the ocean, it's water, it's wet,
It is.
all of it. And so there's no spot where abundance isn't possible, because all spots are equal. It's just a matter of how we see our source versus resources. And that's what spiritual economics is that God is the source. Our jobs are resources that give us money that is a resource, but it is not the source. And so as long as you have your perspective in good on the source, you can manifest and create the rest.
Wow. So source is greater than resource.
All day, every day.
All day.
I agree.
Every day.
I agree.
A quote.
And knowing how to use those resources.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't serve the resource, which is where we have to be conscious of with jobs and whoever pays our checks and things like that.
Right.
Because those are just merely resources.
And there's a quote I think that amplifies what you even just shared, and it's, you know, man, a person trying to find God is like wave trying to find sea. It's like there's a certain oneness, and if you one with that source, you always have the ability to create, manufacture, and manifest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Word.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mel, you are one of the greatest salesmen I know. You are a closer, always be closing ABC.
Glenn Ross. First prize, a Cadillac Eldorado. Second prize, a set of steak knives. If y'all have never seen that movie, you don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know, but I feel like he's about to say, but wait, there's more.
Mo, we gonna watch Glenn Ross. That's what we gonna do. We gonna watch that movie. I got the DVD. But you want to know my book?
For entrepreneurship. And everybody on the book VERZUZ, ooh, that's tough. Drop you all the books as well for entrepreneurship. The 10X rule. For
entrepreneurship. And this is a newer book. You know, most of my book, and let me be completely candid. Like when we were talking about this in the text messages and you told us what books you were gonna ask us, I didn't read any of that thread because I wanted this to be
authentic.
Like candid and natural and authentic, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't even know what the categories are that you're asking us, but I know where all my books are. So when you say Super Beings, bam, you know, when you ask me what book, and you notice the first two I keep on my desk. But the best entrepreneurial book that I've ever read in my life, and this is relatively new, is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
I heard about that one.
And man, listen. When I think the major issue for people that wanted to go into business for themselves is that they don't think big enough, right? So we set our goals at a place that's comfortable so that we could achieve them instead of setting them so far out. Even if we missed the far out part, we're still well above what we would have settled for, right? And so this 10X rule talks about not only setting your goals so far out, but also having the action that is so far beyond, you know, one of my favorite quotes. And when I said it, I had to stop and write it down because I was in a seminar and I said, success happens when desire meets work ethic, right? So everybody has these grandiose ideas of, you know, this is what I want, but if your work ethic doesn't match that, then you'll never have that success. But this is desire and work ethic on steroids.
Right.
This is Latimer from The Program, if you remember that movie, who was on steroids. I do a lot of movie references, but 10X rule by far, and I need to reread it because I read it and I was pumped for a little while and I was stretching myself, but then the elasticity pulled me back to where I was like, all right, well, I can do this, I can do that, but now I got to get back on my hustle.
And just for
Go hustle
everybody
in the
to know that
muscle and get
rule,
on.
that's
So
such a dope book. I just want for everybody who's taking notes to that 10x rule, you know, from the book Mel was sharing, just straight up is whatever goal you have, set it 10 times higher, and however much work you think it takes to get it done, go 10 times harder than that. And you all embody that. So super dope book. We got Spiritual Economics. We got the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. Simone, come up in the ring with your gloves and tell us.
All right. Well, I don't
that
have that with me. I should have searched for it upstairs, but it's the first book that I read when I started my business back in 98 here in Jacksonville. This is when I first got out of cosmetology school, right? I was making $25 a week. And that was, when I say, the most humbling experience ever. And a friend of mine, he gave me that book, The 7 Spiritual Laws to Success. And I'm like Monique, most of my books are like the same, you know, they're along the same line. So The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra talked about the law of attraction. Oh, there you go. There you go.
I didn't know which category. I'm busting it out for the next category.
Okay, right. So Deepak Chopra lists 7 spiritual principles that you need to apply to your life, and 7, I would call it 7 spiritual discipline, because I think that's the case. Many of us, we have all these practices, but we're not necessarily disciplined to do them on a consistent basis. And you need to have that consistency to create that change in your life. So when I was making that $25 a week, I said, you know, I would just go into the mirror and start talking to myself, start speaking to myself, because around you, you're going to see all these distractions. You're going to see people doing better than you. You're going to start to feel, well, man, maybe that's not for me. You're going to start to feel discouraged. But what that book did for me was allow me to put on my blinders even deeper and just really block out the things that I didn't need to look at and focus on me and what I wanted for my future, and started speaking it into my life and not allowing other people to speak for me, and also putting in the work to make those things happen. It gave me that insight that, you know what, yes, I can do it, and yes, it is possible, and yes, it may not be happening in my life right now, but if I keep believing and trusting in myself and doing my part, then eventually it will happen for me. And so it allowed me to also keep the faith in my life. So that book is like my first. The success principle came after that.
Wow. Super dope. Monique, you mentioned
But hold on. Hold on. Let me tell you how powerful that book was. So I started making $25 a week, right? And within 4 months, I was in a position to open my own business. I opened my own salon after that. So I went from making $25 a week to making thousands of dollars a week. And I opened my own first salon. And that's coming out of a shelter.
Wow.
She manifested that, didn't she, Mom?
You know what? Dr. Frantonia mentioned the law number 1, pure potentiality.
Absolutely.
And that is
hold on, wait. I got one more thing. Listen, I wasn't that good either. I came out of school, I was okay, but I wasn't that great. So you don't have to be the greatest person in the world to get your dreams and to get ahead in life. You just have to believe in yourself and be willing to put in the work. So believing in myself and being able to go out there, listen, I don't care who you were. Listen, if you want me to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was there at 7 o'clock in the morning. You want me to be there 11 o'clock at night, I am there 11 o'clock at night. You can't be ambitious about what you want to have in life, but then, you know, okay, I can only do it between this time and that time. You can't be picky. So I just put aside all of that and was ready to make whatever sacrifices that I needed to make in order to make my dreams come true. And I wasn't going to get in my way. I was going to get out my way. And whatever I had to do to make it happen, I did it. What was right. I didn't do anything illegal, right? But whatever I had to do, whatever the time I had to put in.
That now. Stop.
Huh?
The book don't teach that.
Right.
That's the 50th law by 50 Cent. But you know what? There someone in the chat mentioned Founder Allen, discipline equals ritual, and that is what you are expressing. Waking up at 7 a.m., having the discipline the internal fortitude to
Yes.
make all of that potential happen.
Yes.
So Monique, you mentioned the book, Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak Chopra. What did you get out of that changed? And we're transitioning into the spiritual realm and the top spiritual books, and looks like Deepak is at the top there. So
Deepak is definitely at the top. If I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna listen to somebody else's voice. It usually is. But this book for me, every piece and part of it, this was another gift from my mama. So as much as you know, she was never overt in her, this is how we see God and this is how we do spirituality. She would just be like, here, so what you think about this, you know, and would leave it up to me to unfold it. And so as I've gotten into this as work, I don't ever really ask my mother what it is she thinks about how I got here. But it's just kind of always been a part of me. And so I don't even want to be redundant because I second all of that she said. But I would like to remind us of a different law that I learned through this book, which is the law of detachment. And it is a very powerful one because in our process of manifesting and wanting and desiring, we get stuck now that it has to be this way, like this. I gotta have these things. And because we speak good English and we're visionaries and creative and all of these things, we don't always surrender and detach enough to let the flow take us where we're supposed to go. And in my personal, story, which we talked a lot about in our rolling out culture class the other day, one of the things that I have done best is know how I want it to feel and detach from the exact elements of it. What the exact elements are matter less to me. I didn't plan to be a life coach, but after that thing happened and that opportunity and then this door and that window and then I did these things, it landed me here. And I feel like I wanted to feel in work that didn't feel like work. So I used that to be my intention and desire that drove me. But I would just go, okay, well, marketing, I'm doing this thing, I'm successful at it, I'm making money, but it don't feel like I want to feel. So that can't be it. Okay, so then I'm doing this media work, I'm doing this. It feels good, it's closer, but that didn't feel like I want to feel. And so as I got to coaching, it started to feel like that, but it was 100% never my plan.
Wow, that is. And Monique, you share something in that rolling out, manifest that SHIT class that we did, and I asked a simple question. Two of them, I said, why, when people don't accomplish their dreams or desires, it's because of
lack of belief.
They did not believe. So believing is, to your point earlier, it's in that source. And if you believe in a source, then whatever resource is going to be, cool. That job, this city, that city, this person, that, but the source of it, you got to believe in that. And then when I asked, one will accomplish their dream or desire once they
vibrate where it is.
And that is one of the most powerful things. That is the secret. If anybody wants to know what the secret is, like, vibrate where it is. And that, Semone, what you've been talking to about that feeling when you spoke of the infinite potentiality, and being able to manifest that it's a feeling. Like, so feel it.
You have to feel it.
When you move,
you have to feel, and you have to not just feel it, you have to see yourself in it, see yourself doing it, and speak, and knowing how powerful your words are. That's another thing that I got from Deepak Chopra's book, is realizing how powerful words are and how words can impact your life by saying, well, it's not going to work, or I can't do this, or I can't make it, or I'm broke, or you're just reinforcing those situations and making them even more potent. So what I would do, I would find ways to reshape the conversation or reshape the way I saw things. You know, well, I may not have the money that I need to have today, but tomorrow is a new day, you know, or the sun may not shine on the same spot. It's not, let's say so-and-so may be doing good today, but my day is coming. So I always try to find ways to speak positive things into my life. And if by chance someone says something negative about me, I rebuke it. And I may not necessarily rebuke it directly in their face, but in my mind, I'm deflecting that. I'm not receiving that information, because it's like, to me, words are infectious, and they're powerful. You can hurt someone with words. You know, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's not true. I can tell you the dumbest person on the planet, you won't make it. And if you're not strong enough to deflect that, you'll absorb that and start believing in that. But I also can use the same word, say, man, you are the most powerful person I've ever met. Man, do you know how great you are? Do you see your potential? Man, let me tell you, if you just take I'll just cup of anything. Do you know what you can make with this little box here? And you speak life into somebody, you'll begin to see that person change right in front of your eyes. And so that I learned, I have to learn to speak into myself, and then use that same energy and speak into people, and then surround myself with people that's going to also empower me. So those are the things I thought that were significant in Deepak Chopra's book. And it's not just, you know, a book that's for business. It's also a book for spirituality as well.
No, you're right. By the way, Semone is going to kick off a motivational speaker tour, you know, definitely by 2022. You're going to see Coach Mo, Monique Spence,
2022.
keynotes, killing it with how
Listen,
manifest that
that's
is.
right. That's right.
And we're going to have Super Being Mel in there as well, levitating from Chicago.
Levitating, bro. Astro projectionism. I might just, you know, be in Chicago, but be in Jamaica at the same time.
Y'all Roberson, man, between Dave Roman and Mel, y'all be on the serious astro projection.
Trying to tell you, bro.
But what's your book for spirituality?
Okay, let me give a caveat, right?
Uh-oh.
For this particular topic, I don't think for me, I can say the best, because there are books that have been significant at a point in my life where that is what I needed then. And without that, I wouldn't be where I am. However, I've found other things since then. So I'll go backwards. The most recent is The Divine Matrix, right? And The Divine Matrix talks about how our world is a mirror of our beliefs. Okay, and it talks about when one of the laws is something about thinking out of consciousness, because consciousness is creation, and when you are thinking and you are conscious, you are actually creating. We have the power to create.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So that's this. But I wouldn't have got here without The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino, which some people have read The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. But this one is a little bit more holistic spiritually, right? And then an honorable mention. I know I was supposed to only give one, but an honorable mention.
You some combos, man.
I'm doing this. You know, this was the jab hook, right? This is the jab hook.
I think this is cheating.
Right? Hey, whatever. Whatever it takes to get where you need to go.
We're gonna talk to the judges, man.
Talk to the judge.
But one I would say, regardless of your spiritual beliefs, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever, the stories in Running with the Giants by John Maxwell, and the premise of this book is that he's on a track running around, and he gets to talk to leaders from the Old Testament. And as he's running around the track, he's interviewing them or asking them questions that contributed to whatever it was that they have going on. So it's Old Testament heroes want you to know about life and leadership. So it talks about life and leadership. So this is Running with the Giants by John Maxwell.
Okay, wow.
But if you're ready for it, this Divine Matrix right here, like, this is not a read all at once book. This is a read and reference book, right? Because you're going to get stuff and it's not going to click, and then something's going to happen and you're like, I need to go back and read. You know, this was in chapter 2. And then once the manifestation of that thing has happened, and then you go back and read it, you're like, oh, that's what that was. So yeah, I'm done.
And what's so dope, Mel, we had a convo earlier because we get into our deep stuff sometimes in the morning. He hit me and we get into it.
Right.
But it was on. One of the things we brought up, and it's crazy Monique brought it up, was the law of detachment. So just when you see them synchronicities in life, and I'm sure in this conversation between Semone and Monique and Mel, they said something you were like, oh, wow, okay, that's really where I'm at. That's for a reason. You know, you're there for a reason. And this knowledge there's no monopoly on that. Like, it's to be shared and used with everyone. So super dope. We got probably 10 more minutes. So we got 2 other rounds, and this is some heavy blows, some incredible books. Hope y'all been taking some notes on it. I'm gonna give you all, you know, the list of it afterwards, and make sure I lay it out in the post that'll be on. I'm gonna go to you, Semone. What is your #1 book about pivots? And just give us the one thing you learned from it, so we can get through these 10 minutes and make sure we got everybody on there.
I don't have it with me, but it's Who Moved My Cheese
Ooh.
by Spencer Johnson. It's knowing when your source has depleted and knowing how to pivot before the actual cheese run out, or if you're caught up in a situation where you didn't recognize that your cheese is going to run out. And the cheese is a metaphor for life. So essentially it talks about your source of living,
whether it's in the pandemic.
Pardon?
Could cheese be a metaphor for COVID and the pandemic?
Absolutely, absolutely. So life as we know it has completely changed, but how do you shift? There's some people that's still waiting for that cheese to come back, and it's never going to come back. And we also had that conversation today where I really don't think that life is ever going to go back to how we know it. And so we just have to know how to go with the flow. And the quicker you're able to adapt to the change, the quicker your life is able to propel in the direction that it needs to go. That's the biggest one for me. Who Moved My Cheese?
My son Simeon, 8th of December, that's maybe his favorite book. Like, that might have been the book that changed his life.
Yes.
And for sure.
I read that. I think I read that book when I was like 22 or 23 years old, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, because you're 26 now.
Minus 48. Wait,
you gotta start.
I'm not,
you gotta sell us
48,
some of that
yeah.
fountain of youth water that you got in your pond. You know.
Listen, I didn't spend all these years in the beauty industry for nothing, right? I know all the tricks of the trade.
There you go. There you go.
I learned something, right?
Okay, Monique, tell us your #1 book for pivots, and that's one of your core principles that you teach with your clients. You know,
it is. So I'm gonna say that, and I can't believe I don't have it right here. I'm gonna grab it while somebody else is talking. So my #1 book for pivots is Manifest That Shit, which is my book. Actually, do you have?
I'd like an autographed copy, please.
I got you, boo. I got you. And apparently, I need 6 autographed copies from you.
Me too.
I'm going to talk about financial pivot on this one and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Strong.
Is a pivot on how you see your finances and money. When I teach finance, I teach from this book. It is everything you need to understand about how you were conditioned around money, and that poor people think one way and rich people actually think an entirely different way about money.
So what's one habit that we think the general public, because I'm talking to some super rich people, some super beings, but the general public, what's one false perception that they have of rich people that in a rich world, it really don't go down that way?
Absolutely. So you know the saying, you want to have your cake and eat it too. Rich people think, what else is the cake for? Poor people think, save the cake. Okay, so in the translation, the way he teaches the principle in the book is that some people think either or. Rich people think both.
Give me my cake. and both of my hands. And
All
all
them
my
cakes.
forks.
What else they get
The bakery.
That was one of the dumbest statements someone ever came up with. Like, they obviously didn't celebrate birthdays. But
Exactly. But I want my cake. I want to eat it too. But really thinking, the principle of thinking both changed how I do everything, even down to how I might shop for something on Amazon or look for something online. I want both. And yes, I want both. I want to know, okay, so now I figured out I want it to be like this. I want it to be like this plus this. If I can Google that and find it like that, that's what I want. So it changes how I think about everything. I want both of it all.
Oh, that is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind
by HarvEker.
HarvEker.
I got that book around here somewhere.
I saw you getting up to look for it.
Yeah, when I turn around, I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm looking for
He got the Harold Washington Library, man.
I
wonder when they go, man, hit you up like, dude, return our books, man.
These ain't theirs,
half
bro.
of them in your spot, man. But
these ain't theirs. Ain't no checkout cards at the beginning.
No doubt.
These
no
mine.
doubt, man. You legit, man. You blue check, man. You blue check book reader, man. So,
right.
So what, man? What is the book, man, that's most impactful to you as it relates to pivots and?
I got to go with an author that looks like me, right? I got to throw a black author in here.
All right.
A gentleman by the name of Willie Jolly. A setback is a setup for a comeback.
Wow.
A setback.
I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, man.
Every disappointment is a blessing in disguise. I believe that.
I actually met him, and got this back in 2000.
What's his first name?
Willie Jolly.
Uncle Willie.
Yep, Uncle Willie.
Uncle Willie Jolly.
And as I was reading, and it's crazy, it's back in 2000, the thing that stuck out with me that said it, because when things happen, a natural human response is to panic or be distressed or whatever. And in chapter 5, he talks about do not panic. There is no power in panic. Decide to stay calm, stay collected, and stay positive. And then he has a quote in here. It says, the only good luck most great people ever had was being born with the ability and determination to overcome bad luck. Right? So, yeah, setback is a setup for a comeback. And I haven't read this in a while, but again, I didn't pay attention to the text messages when you told us what the questions were going to be. So as soon as you said this, I was like, yeah, I gotta pull this one out. This is an oldie but goodie. I'm gonna leave this one out to revisit some stuff.
Wow, dope book by a black author. We love
by a black author, yes sir.
4 black authors that you're looking at right here. But we, man, one time for Willie Jolly, a setback is a setup for a comeback. And Mel, you have a quote that I hear. I give you credit for it, but you say, dream big enough to wake up early and stay up late, and dream strong enough to overcome fear and fatigue. And I think that's so powerful.
Yep.
So regardless of whatever that setback is, it's all a setup. You know what I'm saying? For that ultimate comeback.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Last round, we got, man.
Before you go, hold on. Before you go, even though we had spirituality, this is mine. Let me turn it over.
Oh, we know
Holy Bible.
Let
me tell you, this is my roots. 1 chapter a day is what does for me, because when I'm able to listen, it don't matter how many books you read, they're all right here. All the principles are here. Stories that I learned from David, from the struggles of a young boy believing in himself. Can't say it right. A young boy believing in himself and being able to accomplish so much with 5 rocks. Okay, to Noah. There's so many stories throughout the Bible, and it doesn't matter to me where I'm at in my life. I'm always able to reset by starting over with this book over and over again. So for me, reading a chapter every day is my food.
Wow. Way to bring in the good book. That's the best-selling book of all time.
It is. Actually, it is.
Sold
it is.
For hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Amazing. And that is by far. What version is that?
This is the King James version, old-fashioned.
James. Okay. Okay. Some of the youngsters on here, they think King James is LeBron. It was another version, you know. But no doubt, Bible for sure. We should all have that in our books now.
Yeah.
Last question. Let me know, what is the greatest book of all time? One time for founder Alan Pastor, he mentioned the Bible has over 50,000 errors. You have to read it with caution, as well as the Quran. So we got some bigness in there. That might be the next. If we went to Clubhouse, we might have a chat with founder Alan on that one. But no doubt, like as you said, Monique, get to the source. So the Bible ultimately talks about the source, but it's a resource to get there. You got to make sure you one with that source.
Yes, and being able to interpret it for yourself and how it applies to your life too. Because you can read stories, or I can hear about your life and hear about your stories and how you've been impacted. But unless I'm able to apply it to what I'm doing, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's got to apply. You're right. So we're gonna start
I'm
with.
I'm gonna jump in for mine, because for on the subject.
Yes.
The most impactful, greatest of all time, most powerful and most used book I own is called Conversations with God. And I don't dispute or debunk anybody's Bible. So your book is your book, the book that works. You know, I don't take anything from that. And like you said, Simone, interpretation is everything. And
yes.
Much to so many different people, is often given with a air of the limits and fear-based stuff, based on who's teaching, right? Not what their interpretation is. And so what really has worked for me is the principles that are taught in Conversation with God, which is that it is all about your personal co-creating relationship, and that God is not waiting for, you're not waiting for God's approval to do a thing. That God is essentially like a parent who says, go play. I don't care whether you're playing hide and seek or playing catch. If you're playing, that's what you're doing. If you fall down and get hurt, I'll pick you back up, I'll nurse you back, and you carry on and you learn and you play again. And so sometimes we get so caught waiting on, you know, particularly clients that come to me looking for what they should be doing next, is they're waiting on some answers and some divine downloads, instead of forging forth to co-create and make it be and manifest said shit, right? So for me, Conversations with God was the first place that took a lot of the things that I didn't understand about church and the Bible and made it plain in language that resonates with me.
That is, and let me ask you this, because that is normally a loaded question when we say the greatest book ever. So to do a pivot move, because of those inspirations and because of all of the work that you've done in the spiritual realm and entrepreneurial realm, what allowed you to produce the greatest book ever, you know, from that realization and awakening?
A little bit of all of these, right? A little bit of all of this is actually what I have become. And the book is Manifest That Shit is me on paper. You know, it's, if you were
Could it be this book right here? Is this
that
book? Is this it right here? Is this what the joint?
If we were
Everybody got to get this book. It's the best workbook ever.
Yes, if we were sitting to do this work, we would then use the, you know, the desires of what it is that you want, and permission to tap into our own desires is what I want to give people, because you want different things than I want. And in order for you to have those things, you have to raise your level of belief to have them. You have to be detached enough. You got to be tapped into your source. And so all of the things that we've talked about tonight is a little bit of combination of everything that's in there, so that you can manifest your own shit.
Manifest the SHIT. Go to Amazon and grab this workbook. It is super, super dope. Super dope. Mel, and we got maybe 3 minutes. So, man, Mel, if you could drop greatest book ever, man, tell us what the accumulation of all these books, what did that
greatest
allow
book
you
in the
manifest?
history of mankind
Oh, man. Let me get
is
my note. I want to write this one
a
down.
self-help personal development novel. Right? It's one thing to have a book that gives you all of these principles and how-tos. It's different, though, when it's put into a compelling story that makes all of the principles so palatable that you want to read it over and over and over again. And that book happens to be 31 Amazing Life Lessons of Joshua Stokes.
Well, look at here.
Oh, man, look
I
at
thought I was
that.
going to have to buy something
You
else.
got a
Like,
copy of the best book.
oh.
Look at that.
And by the way, that was the best IG first ever infomercial. For the best book. Word.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, so this
one
book is
quick,
written in...
if you could give us a quick principle that was dropped in here that you think is most effective, the reason why people need to grab it.
Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. If you were fearless and it didn't take anything for you to achieve something, that's not a real accomplishment because you didn't have to risk anything to get it. But if you had some fear and you were courageous, like you didn't have the absence of fear, but you went after it and you tackled that bear anyway, it means everything in the world. That's one of the principles, one of the 31 principles that you'll learn from Joshua Stokes.
Get over there on Amazon and do what you got to do. Get this book. Get this
Link in
book.
bio.
Get
Link
that.
in my bio.
Most definitely. Good. Okay, Simone, drop it.
All right, so the greatest book. Listen, I need Mel's
you know what we're gonna do?
I need to hire you for my salesperson, okay?
I got you. I got you. Let's go.
All right, listen.
And, you know, and drop the title and then give us everything, and we can go as long as they don't cut us off. And so there might be some Q&A afterwards.
How can I win? Unlocking the blueprints to personal success is by this amazing chick you see right in front of your face.
The
right
one
here.
that I'm seeing too.
That's one. Look.
That's the one.
Dang.
That one right there.
Okay.
That's the one. So Mel, you talked about, conquering your fears and doing things that you thought you couldn't do. This is absolutely one. This is absolutely an example of that because I never considered myself to be an author. I never did. I didn't think I had it inside of me. Actually, I didn't say that. I think I had it inside of me, but I didn't think I had the ability to write it. So I was trying to write it through someone else. I was trying to cheat. I figured if I can just sit down and talk to you and tell you about my life, you have the gift to write, then you can put it on paper, right? I realized that that's not my truth. I have to confront that and do it myself. And so I decided to just put my foot down and give it my best. And when I was finished, let me tell you, this book, after writing it, it also changed my life because this is an example that anything, again, that you put your mind to do, you can do it and do it amazingly well. And so the goal that I set out for this book was to be able to inspire people and change and let them know that, listen, I don't care where you come from. You can't come from Jamaica. You can't walk with your foot.
We're on a different vibration now.
Yes, listen. Listen.
It's yellow, green, and black.
I'm serious. Listen, you can come. It don't matter where you are in life. You can start any day. It's about mindset. It's about believing in yourself. It's just like you said, the 10X rule. So I went through life thinking, okay, I set a goal. I work hard. I accomplished it. Okay, I got it. Set another goal, work hard, accomplish it. I realized that everything I set my mind to do, I accomplished it. So why not maximize it? Why not maximize it? Listen, right now, Marcel has been here in my house, right?
All over the place.
I'm maximizing my life. I said to myself, you know what? God, I want to live in a mansion. All right, it's possible. I see everybody else. I went to Dubai. I saw all these mansions everywhere. I see people living life a certain way. I said, I deserve that too. Why I can't have that?
So let me ask you this, Simone. If I wanted to manifest writing a book like you all, could I do that instantaneously?
You already did.
Did I just manifest?
Just like that.
I want to manifest another one. Let me
you did. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold up. This one right here? This one right here?
Do I need to go upstairs?
This book?
You manifested an SHIT, man.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's what's
so,
up.
Marcel, I just want to give just really talk about you for a second. Yeah,
we got a question too. I want to make sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. We got Dr. Frantonia had a question. But go ahead.
She had a good question too.
Okay, well, I just want to say, you know, just talk about you for a second, because you're such
You
a...
ain't got to talk about me, Simone. We talk about the super beings. And we can talk about Mel, Monique,
Well,
man.
no,
They know
because
I'm
you...
ready to see you talk any day. I ain't here to hear me.
Listen, can I talk about you for a second? That you're such an amazing person. You're always just feeding into people. It don't matter what it is that's happening. You're always on point, lifting everybody up. It just feels as if you're like this pillar that's trying to push everybody ahead. And I love that about you. I just wanted to take that second to give you some shine.
I'm selfish. Y'all are super beings. Y'all are superheroes, super sheroes, and I love y'all glow. I'm always enlightened and empowered by you all. So I'm trying to be with the cool kids. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to be down.
You are one of the cool kids.
You
So.
are. You might be the cool.
Nah, y'all are super dope. And everybody here for rocking out with us. Really appreciate y'all. This book versus. I'm going to list all of the books, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you go to the page and check all of them. I want to get to the question, Dr. Frank.
Okay.
If you had to, go ahead.
So her question was, if you got rid of your entire library, right? You had to get rid of your entire library, but you could only keep one book. What would that book be?
The Bible. I'll keep the Bible any day.
It'd be Conversations for God, with God for me.
I'm going to combine all three of these books and I'm going to make it one book.
One anthology.
You need a rubber band. Get you a rubber band.
So I think the one that I would keep is, I got one of those beat up ones like you, Simone. It's The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol. I didn't get a chance to talk about this one today.
Right.
But, and this is not even my original copy. My original copy is Dust. This is probably my third copy, and y'all see how beat up this one is.
Right.
So yeah, that would be the one I would keep.
Yeah.
One time we got Brookstar 26. Appreciate you.
Any more questions? That's the only questions.
Shot-Town Walt Williams. You know that's Walt Will, Mel, and Monique. So that's been my my homeboy ride or die with Dave, bro. You know, we went to fam.
My brother.
We was roommates, so we was swapping out books, you know, freshman year, all types of things. So really good stuff. And Noah, leave us with the last word. If there's one word, Dr. Frantoni said if there was one book, if there was one word that you had to embody your life, you know, embody your whole days with for the rest of your life, what would that one word be?
Sunshine.
Possibility.
Peace.
Sunshine, possibility, peace. That sounds like the greatest collaboration of a song.
And that's
that
what
be
we'll
created.
call the summit in Jamaica.
Sunshine, peace, and possibility. Sunshine, peace, and possibility.
Let me ask y'all this real quick. Sunshine, peace, possibility. For the word that you mentioned, if they were going to do a song, who would be the artist y'all wanted to represent that part of the song? Sunshine, possibility, peace.
Oh, who would sing my Sunshine song? Oh, I don't know now. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's you cheating now, man.
Can I listen?
Okay, we talk about books. I'm moving it. I'm trying to get a music versus out of y'all. My bad.
You trying to get music verses? That's what you want.
Right.
Well, I'm going to have dinner verses right now. That's what I'm gonna do.
That sounds like a good idea for all of us to restore these temples. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Marcellus, I'm overjoyed that we have reconnected and in this space. And I just love you. I love everything you're touching and doing. And let me tell you something. I changed my day to actually get the second shot of my vaccine from yesterday to tomorrow.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to be sick and not able to do this after I committed. So I just want you to know how much I respect you asking me to participate in and be a part of what you're doing. So cheers and hats off to you.
Don't let me grab the Kleenex over here. I ain't come on Instagram Live to be doing that.
Absolutely. And you've been my little brother since Whitney Young, man. I often talk about how I have one biological brother, you know, Dave, who's watching, man. But since the moment I met you, bro, it's been a real deal. For me, driving y'all to Florida A&M in the rental car, doing the whole drive by myself from Chicago to Tally Ho.
And we didn't get that about 2 in the morning. We saw some stuff driving through Cambridge, Florida, Tennessee. Like
we went in some sundown towns for real and made it through, boy. I'm telling you.
And got pulled over during that trip too, man.
Got pulled over.
Stuff that's happening, man. It's a blessing for 4 Black brothers to have made it on that trip.
Real talk.
Over in the state that we got pulled over in at the time that we did. So, and you were the captain of that ship.
I appreciate
you were driving
it,
that. You made sure that your young brothers, man, got to college. All right, man.
I say all that to say, dog. Like, you know, we get play cousins easily. You know, we'll take a play cousin in a heartbeat. But the people that we actually call our brothers and our sisters that we take in, for me at least, everybody don't get to be my brother. You know, that's my cousin, that's my boy. But to actually say, you know, it's my brother, and anytime you call, you know, unless I'm completely incapacitated, I'm gonna pick up that call, bro.
Yes.
So, man, I love you and I appreciate you, man. Who you've been for me in my life, because this
and he's consistent.
This is a two-way street.
Always.
He's
consistent.
consistent.
I'm consistent about being caping and champion y'all and what y'all.
Yes, you're consistent though. I love it.
And being humble and shy. You're best at that.
Right.
That's what I'm here for.
Right.
Shy. Wait a minute.
How can I manifest that? How can I get my 31 amazing stories and principles from Joshua Stokes? So this has been an amazing book versus. Make sure y'all go on Amazon, get all those books. Check out, you know, all the books that they recommended. They are living some high-level, supernatural, super conscious lives.
Remember, no, listen. In the success principles, the first chapter talk about taking 100% responsibility for your life. And I think that's very essential. Many of us, we just go through life kind of not just trying to, you know, go through it, but and also not in blaming people. Oh, I had a bad beginning, or I lost a job, or it's always an excuse. Instead of putting that energy on somebody else, looking within yourself and take 100% responsibility. So listen, if I need change, I need a change. Change can't come from outside of myself. Change has to start within myself. It has to start within my mindset. It's like, okay, what is it that I need to change, and take action to do it every single day. Just like you say, bit by bit, eventually you'll become that person that you want to be from the beginning anyways.
Take 100% responsibility.
100%. Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
Manifest that S-H-I-T, damn it.
That's shiggity.
Manifest that shit and die empty with nothing left. Use it all.
31 principles.
Use it all.
And bring them principles with you. Turkey, one of them.
If you want to know how to win, that's how you can win. That's how you win.
And a day of the week.
By following these 3.
Listen, this is a fabulous 4.
Hey, that's what the motivational speaking tour in Jamaica. Kingston, we coming.
I'm there for it.
Shine, peace, and possibilities.
That's right. Hey. Marcellus, you're supposed to add something to that now. Marcellus, you're supposed to add something to that.
What's your word?
Yeah, what's your word?
We got sunshine, we got possibility, peace, breakthrough.
Ooh, I like that.
We gonna break through.
I like that. I can actually see that.
Coming to Montego Bay. 2020.
Just like Mel.
Live and direct.
Yeah. All right, well, I done wrote it with my pen in my notebook, so we manifested.
That's it. That's
Once you put it in there,
if
you put it in the workbook, it's a done deal.
Yes. Oh man, that's so great. It's exciting, man. This is very exciting.
Well, we definitely gonna be
and I definitely appreciate this. This is reviving too.
And thank you everybody who joined in, overcoming them Teddy Riley difficulties and rocking with us. Hopefully y'all got some stuff that's really going to change and transform your life. And it already has.
That's right.
You know, the quote that I use in our book, you know, the run it, the race is already won. All you got to do is run it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Get out there and get it. You know, you got to run it though. So thank y'all so much.
I'm gonna run by Monique house and steal a plate. She talking about she about to eat. My stomach over here touching my back.
You want some of them ham hocks? You want to go all the way to the west side for some ham hocks?
And then no ham hocks. But
wait, what's on the menu, Monique? What's on the menu?
I'll be at your house in the morning for ackee and saltfish for breakfast.
My neighbor is downstairs cooking dinner. I just smell food happening.
So, you about to manifest it?
I'm about to manifest the plate in front of me. I'll put it in the text room.
How about knock on the door? Knock on the door.
Right. Ackee and saltfish at your house tomorrow.
Listen, we have listen. This evening we had tripe. No, about that.
Oh,
Yeah, Courage Tribe.
Hey,
All
I
right.
appreciate y'all, Tania. Thanks for rocking with us. Miracle, Chanel, Cool, everybody. No doubt. Sunshine, possibility, peace, and breakthrough.
And
That's
breakthrough.
what we are.
Montego Bay 2022.
I like it. All right.
Go
All
girl.
right, y'all. Hey,
Good
love
luck,
and
Bye-bye.
appreciate y'all. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Peace.